Brett Okamoto with the UFC's heavyweight champion of the world, Daniel Cormier, looks to defend his title against Stipe Miocic this weekend at UFC 241. And Daniel, my first question is, how you holding up, man? I know that these fight weeks, they're a lot, right?
They can be a lot.
How you holding up with this one?
I'm doing okay, man. I mean, I've done it for a while now. I can't even remember the last time I didn't have to do all this stuff, but it's fun. You kind of take it all in, and I've said many times now, as I get older, I try to take in every part of the journey. Whereas before I was kind of speed through the media, speed through everything. I'm just kind of taking it all in.
Well, usually, for some of your biggest ones, obviously, it was always about the drama of John Jones. This time, the topic on everyone's mind is this going to be your last fight? So why don't you just end all the speculation and tell if this is going to be your last fight?
Brett, I don't, because I don't really know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can go in there Saturday and fight great. Or I can go in there Saturday and fight okay and still win. But then I'd be like, okay, man, I can't do this at the level I did before. It's still good enough to win, but it's not good enough to meet my standards. So I just have to see how I feel in the octagon.
Does part of you really wish you kind of knew? Like that you would go through this week knowing, like, all right, this is it? Did part of you wish that?
I do a little bit. Like, when guys get older, obviously the question of retirement always arises. So it's easier to make your intentions clear, right? Like, even in football, right? Brady goes, I'm going to 45, so nobody even asks him about retirement anymore. He's like the only guy over 40, and nobody even worries about a retirement. But for me, it's like, I just want to fight, and if I can prepare myself to fight, then I'll fight. But if I can't, then I just won't fight. It's not like I have to anymore.
I wonder if, obviously the media has been badgering you for an answer, but how about the people around you? Have you gotten a lot of phone calls saying, hey, man, I'll come down to California if this is going to be your last one, but can you tell me? Have you gotten a lot of those?
People were asking, and they were just like, nobody wants me to retire. I think for my family and all my friends, they're like, when you walk away from fighting, you're going to be able to beat a lot of people still. So you're going to have to be brave in the sense that you're going to walk away from a lot of money and a lot of, wins that could follow. Problem is, the idea of losses with those wins doesn't really appeal to me. I only want to win, so if I can't compete and win at the level that I've done it, then I'll just walk away.
Are you one of those guys that there's any possibility that you just make the decision on the spot on Saturday night and you throw the gloves down in the middle of the octagon?
I'm one of those guys that really thinks things through. I'm an emotional guy. I'm very emotional, but with something like that, because I'm not going to be a dude that goes away, comes back, goes away, comes back. I think I would sit with my family and my wife and really discuss what we want to do as a group, because it's a big decision. And I know that once I'm done with this, there's nothing physical for me anymore. When I walked away from wrestling, I knew that there could still be something else. But after this, that's it. So I need to take the decision seriously.
Last question on retirement, then I'll leave you alone on it. But have you thought much about it? Because it sounds like your decision is a competitive decision. If I can still get in there and I'm still world class and I'm going to continue to do it. Have you thought at all about what you have meant to the sport and your legacy? And so, is it important how Daniel Cormier exits the sport of mixed martial arts? Have you thought about that part of it?
Yeah, it is important. What I leave behind is very important, man. I see so many of our greatest champions losing fights that they shouldn't. Fighting in other organizations, just not really leaving their legacy intact. I don't want to do that, and I said by March I'd be done, and this could this could be it. I just don't know. I'm trying not to look at this as my going away party, because God, man, when you start setting that, it's not basketball. You don't get to go to every arena in this country and everybody applauds you. You can go in there and get your head knocked off. So I'm just taking it day by day.
What do you read into Stipe Miocic's demeanor? And almost like, obviously he's a guy you're fighting, but you also are a great analyst. When you see a guy who, he says that he's not angry, he says he's not coming into this fight with emotions, but when he gets asked certain things, you can kind of see it in his face, that he does feel like the last year was a little bit wronged by him, and it does feel like he's coming into a chip on his shoulder in my mind. Have you picked up on that, and do you think that that's a healthy way to come into this fight?
It's obvious, it's obvious. He can say, You can say one thing, and your mind and expression can be something completely different. He's upset, but why wouldn't he be? I'd be upset if I had to spend 6 weeks with me in Vegas, and then lose a fight, and then me fight Derek Lewis, and then be about to fight Brock Lesnar, and just kind of have your whole life just up and down, not knowing what's going to happen. So yeah, of course he's upset. Some of the things he says that I don't quite get is beating Daniel is more important than the belt. That's crazy. then why don't we just go to the parking lot and fight? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just want to beat me, then try it.
Yep.
But, I mean, it's about 13 pounds of gold to me. You know, I'm good. I want to fight for a title.
Last question. You knocked him out in the first round in the first fight. Hard to top that. Does it matter to you how you win this fight?
It doesn't matter how I win. But I think in this fight, people will understand why I've had so much success at heavyweight. You got to think, man, in this division, I fought 15 times now. And one judge gave Josh Barnett 1 round. Like, that's like, seriously, all the guys that I fought at heavyweight, one judge gave Josh Barnett 1 round. It's the only round I've ever lost in heavyweight competition. So I think that gets shown on Saturday night. So he can be as mad as he wants, but I'm just good in this weight class.
Big time heavyweight fight, man. Looking forward to it as always. Thanks for the time, DC.
Thanks, Brett. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and special content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.